So, my dears, how are you doing today? Well, Grandma has come with another fairy tale to read you. This is another story by the Brothers Grimm, and it is called The Frog Prince. You may or may not recognize this fairy tale. Once upon a time, there lived a king and his beautiful daughter. One fine afternoon, the young princess went out to take a walk by herself in the forest near her home. When she came to a cool spring of water, she sat down to rest a while. Her favorite plaything was a golden ball, which she tossed up into the air and caught as it fell. After a time, she threw it up so high that she missed catching it, and the ball rolled down and fell into the spring of water with a splash. The princess leaned over and looked into the water to find her ball, but the spring was very deep, so deep that she could not see the bottom of it. She began to cry. As she cried, a voice called out to her, "Princess, why do you weep so bitterly?" She looked around to the spot from which the voice came and saw a frog sitting on a lily pad. "Was it you that spoke, little frog?" "I am weeping for my golden ball, which bounced away from me into the water." "Do not cry," replied the frog. "I can help you. But what will you give me if I bring your plaything up again?" "What would you like, dear frog?" she asked. The frog answered, "If you will promise me a kiss, I will swim down below and bring your golden ball to you. Would you want to kiss a frog?" "Oh, yes," she said, "I promise whatever you want if you will only find my ball." But she thought to herself, "What nonsense this silly frog talks. He lives in the water and croaks with the other frogs. I will not kiss him." After receiving her promise, the frog put his head into the water and sank down, and in a short while came up swimming with the ball in his mouth and threw it on the grass. The princess was delighted to see her pretty plaything once more, so she picked it up and ran away with it. She soon forgot the poor frog and the promise she had made. See, there's a little picture with the frog with the ball in his mouth. That wasn't very honest of her, was it, to promise something and not keep her promise? The next day, just as the princess sat down to dinner, she heard a strange noise. Splish, splash, splish, splash, as if something wet was coming up the marble staircase. Soon afterward, there was a gentle knock at the door, and a little voice called out and said, "Princess, please open the door for me." She ran to see who could be at the door, but was quite surprised and frightened to see the frog sitting there. The king, her father, noticed her reaction and asked her what was wrong. "There is a disgusting frog at the door," she said. "Yesterday, when I was playing by the spring, my golden ball fell into the water, and this frog fetched it up again because I promised that I would give him a kiss. I never thought that I would have to do it." At least she was honest in telling her father what really happened. The king was an honorable man and chided, or got after, his daughter for her thoughtless behavior. "You have given your word and you must keep it." The princess began to cry, for she was afraid of the cold frog and did not want to kiss it. But the king was firm. "What you promised during your time of trouble, you must now perform." So her father wanted to make her keep her promise. So the princess picked up the frog and gave it a quick kiss before setting it back on the ground. She and her father were shocked when before their very eyes, the ugly little frog suddenly transformed into a handsome prince. The prince flexed his hands and stomped his feet as if to confirm that he was back in his human form again. He told the princess and her father that many years ago he had been enchanted by a wicked witch who had changed him into a frog. Nothing could free him from the evil spell except the kiss of a princess. He had almost lost hope of being transformed until the day when she sat by the spring playing with her ball. The princess was embarrassed by her shameful behavior toward the frog, which had almost prevented the prince from breaking the curse. But he assured her she was forgiven. You have broken the cruel charm, and now I have nothing to wish for except that you will marry me. But you must promise me that you will always keep your word, for now you know that things are not always as they seem. The princess gladly accepted the prince's offer of marriage, and they set out for his kingdom, full of joy and merriment, and there they lived happily ever after. Fairy tales, they always live happily ever after, don't they? And see, there's the frog turning into the handsome prince and asking the princess to marry him. This is another story where things are not always as they seem, but we need to be honest and keep our promises and do what we say that we are going to do. Remember, Grandma loves you. I'll tell you some more stories later. Bye.